My mama, Gladys Partain, planted a garden and canned vegetables every year. It was a lot of work, but we helped Mama out. She started by sterilizing all the pint and quart jars, and I remember rows and rows of jars and lid rings and seals on the kitchen table and across the counters, all covered with cheesecloth to keep them clean. When the vegetables were ready to make, she'd get started early in the morning because it was an all-day job. And she'd wash, and she'd cook, and she'd pack them into those jars, along with a couple of teaspoons of cannon salt to preserve and keep them fresh and to season them. Then she'd add the lids and the rings and make them nice and tight and put them in the pressure cooker, and this finished cooking them, and it killed any bacteria that might still be hanging around. Once the jars were removed from the pressure cooker, they'd have to cool until the lids sunk in, and this meant the jars were sealed and ready to be put up in the pantry. Now and then she'd brag about how many quarts she put up. I put up 40 quarts of Kentucky Wonders, she'd say. That'd be green beans, you know. I remember picking blackberries with her on the back side of the pond. I was little, about 5, I think. But we'd do it every year. We'd fill 2 big Mrs. Tucker lard buckets full of blackberries. And sometimes she'd buy a bushel of peaches from the peddler for cannon. In the winter, on Sundays, Mama would make us cobblers for dessert. It was such fun to just sit around that old pot-bellied stove and tell stories and eat hot pie on those cold winter days.